Nonsense, episode 110, and we made it. It's the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2022. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hey, hey.
And we've assembled the greatest minds in pop culture. The people on this panel have forgotten more about nonsense than most people learn in their entire lifetimes. Tomas is with us today.
What's going on?
As well as Mike.
Can't be naughty today. Gonna be nice. We're gonna be nice. Here we go.
Even though he's naughty by
no
nature.
Naughtiness.
And Aaron's on the pod as well.
Hello.
We also have coming at us via text. Ryan submitted some lists today as well. If you're not familiar with the NOTYs, it is our year-end wrap-up of the best of. It's our awards for the best of everything in pop culture, all of the things we checked out last year and loved. So today on episode 1, part 1 of probably 3, we are covering Best Ensemble and Best Moment in our categories. If you remember from a previous episode, we made a master list of all the things we're going to spoil. This is a full spoiler warning for all of you. As we're making these lists, as we're going to build out this, top 5, we're going to have to spoil stuff. We're going to have to tell you all why we loved all of these things. So be prepared for all of that. So Best Ensemble starts it, then we're going to go into Best Moment, and in future episodes, in Part 2 and Part 3, we're going to get into Best Character, Most Disappointing, Best Games, Best Movies, and Best TV. I'm going to recap our super mega master list, just so you all know out there what kind of stuff is going to be spoiled. So in TV shows, we have Andor, The Afterparty, House of the Dragon, The Bear, Stranger Things Season 4, Severance, Tales of the Jedi, She-Hulk, Rings of Power, Our Flags Mean Death, Chucky Season 2, Ozark Season 4, Reservation Dogs Season 2, Barry Season 3, Dairy Girls Season 3, Wednesday, Euphoria Season 2, This Fool, Station 11, Yellow Jackets, Miss Marvel, Kenobi, Winning Time, What We Do in the Shadows, Only Murders in the Building Season 2, The Curse, and the Academy Awards. So those are all the shows we will be potentially talking about today. It might be in Part 2, it might be in Part 3, who knows. In movies, we have Scream, The Batman, Bullet Train, Prey, On the Count of 3, Barbarian, Pearl, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Jackass 4.5, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I think, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, X, Bodies, 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 Significant Other, Strange World, The Black Phone, Don't Worry Darling, The Northman, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Nope, Thor, Love and Thunder, The Watcher, Men, Until the Wheels Fall Off, The Banshees of Inisherin, Babylon, and Troll. In games, Chrono Cross, Radical Dreamers Edition, God of War Ragnarok, Cult of the Lamb, Tunic, Marvel Snap, A Plague Tale Requiem, Pokemon Violet, Pokemon Arceus, Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Triangle Strategy, I'm losing steam here, The Quarry, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, Lego Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, Vampire, Survivors, Rune Factory 5, Kirby in the Forgotten Land, Sonic Frontiers, High on Life, and Immortality. Before we go on, everyone, are there any last-minute additions to this list that we need to tell everyone about, that we might be spoiling?
I don't think so. I think
Today, I think I'm
fantastic. That is the master list. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the horn. Each of us have brought our top 5s of the year. Some of us actually put them in order. Some of us, the order didn't matter. We're going to say our top 5s. We're going to build a long list, first for best ensemble and then for best moment. And once we have the long list, we will debate on why something should be top 5. We're making a top 5 for the podcast, something that kind of represents the tastes of the entire group. There's 5 of us here today, and Ryan gave some via text. So that'll be what the long list is, and we'll kind of have a nice roundtable discussion on what the top 5 are. Last year, this turned out really well, so we'll see this year. Is everyone ready for the best ensemble category in the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2022?
Yes.
Team Bundy. Can I get a Will Bundy?
There we go.
Bundy.
So who would like to start? I should have randomized your names or something.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were gonna do.
Start.
Hey, Mike volunteered. I don't have to
Go ahead.
randomize. Go, Mike. What you got?
I'm just gonna. I have them in order, but it's not a big deal. I have Reservation Dogs.
Yo.
Just that cast is just really fun.
Fun and endearing.
Just love it. Next, I have God of War. Just,
Ragnarok.
The biggest strength of that game is its cast, I think. Next, I have Severance.
Ooh.
Then I have Our Flag Means Death, which I thought I had a chance to win the category for me, but my number 1 is The Bear.
The Bear.
The Bear. Very nice.
I'll serve with you, Mike.
I got 2 of yours, Mike.
Ooh, exciting. We already
Me
have
too.
double ups. If you guys don't remember from the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2021, when we have double ups, triple ups, maybe quadruple ups,
Triple doubles.
they are locked in to the top 5 for the site. So for the site, we don't have a site. We are a podcast.
I'm having a feeling like some of these we might have 6 double ups potentially,
Hey.
somehow. So
We'll see then.
that rule, we might have to play fast and loose with that kind of
Ooh.
rule too.
We'll see.
We'll talk one off. It's all good.
Yes, indeed. So I'll go next. So number 5.
Euphoria.
is-
Euphoria.
Yeah, it's
and
all
Euphoria.
well, it's Dylon, then Euphoria twice. No, Bodies. Big fan of that ensemble there. Real fun on that one. Bullet Train, everyone heard of it? It's a
Bullet
lot
Train
of
to Busan.
It's a good one.
I also I doubled up on Our Flag Means Death. That was my number 3. Big
Okay.
fan of Our Flag Means Death. Peacemaker was
But
a fun time. What a butt rocking time. And I think the epitome of this category this year was the Afterparty. A little scene show on Apple TV Plus. But really did well with the
Oh, good.
ensemble theme, I think. So
Way to keep
far
it
we have
weird,
Our
Eric.
Flag Means Death. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a weird NOTYs for me, folks. Beware. That's okay. Who would like to go next?
Oh, shoot. Oh,
No, no.
Fight me, Aaron.
I'm okay. You got a
I'm
bandana on.
Arm wrestle me through the computer.
You can go.
All right.
You got it.
Aaron's
All right.
computer strength far superior. to yours.
Absolutely far superior than mine.
Love it.
Be flexing hard. All right. We'll just go with the 2 locks that I already got with Mike. One with the Bear. Most
Hey.
stressful show I've watched in a long time. But I got to admit, it was probably was my favorite watch of the year. But
Nice.
I don't have these in any particular order, but yeah, just putting that out there. And then Res Dogs was the other one that I had off of Mike's. Just, I don't know, I've enjoyed following that crew and watching them grow up. And then the Rings of Power.
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's one of the few shows I actually finished this year. a lot of these are just like, man, what did I even watch this year? And then I got This Fool because I wanted to get a little more comedy representation.
Hell yeah.
And I like a little more Hispanic representation on this list. I don't know if it's gonna make it, but might lose out to Dairy Girls.
No Hispanic folks at Dairy Girls?
Nah,
Not a one. No.
although I did watch a lot of the Great British Bake Off over the Christmas holiday, and they did an episode where the cast of the Dairy Girls baked. So
I saw that too. That was pretty good.
shout out to Aaron.
One.
It's a lot less funny outside of the show.
I'm a big fan of Noel Fielding, so that's why I watched that show. But, that and put Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon for Eric because apparently you can't differentiate between or fucking not Lord of the Rings. God, why did I say Lord of the Rings? Oh.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, same shit.
Oh.
Both of those shows came out the same year, and I was super confused. But nah, yeah, had some of my favorite characters of the year too. So
House of Dragon. What a cast.
yeah.
What a cast. Aaron, I think you
Aaron.
wanted to go next, right?
Oh yeah,
Aaron goes last now. No.
I'll get my. I also had God of War.
Nice.
I also had The Bear.
Oh man. Triple up.
You guys are loving that shit.
The Menu.
The Menu. Nice.
That another show about cooking?
Kind of.
Basically. The cooking parts are pretty bad, but the rest of it's amazing. So, it's like the worst depiction of what people think foodies are. Glass Onion. What was that? That's 4. Barbarian.
Barbarian. Nice. Fun. Before you go, Kayla, I'm gonna read off Ryan's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right,
For best
guys.
ensemble, he had the
One Piece.
Fabelmans. The Fabelmans, everyone. Great cast. Wish I would have seen it. The Batman, another good cast. A movie that Kayla and I just rewatched last night, actually.
Good movie.
Glass Onion has now been done twice. He also had Glass Onion.
We see this. We gotta talk about this locked in rule.
We could talk.
I don't know.
Andor.
I know I'm supposed to be nice.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's good.
we could talk. So Andor was Ryan's next pick. And finally, House of the Dragon. So that actually means we have 6 locked in for a top 5 already. So yeah, we might have to do some debating here, which is fun.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm ready.
Get Euphoria off this list.
Euphoria's not on this list. I didn't.
Mike said he'd be nice. I didn't.
Oh, Kayla, could you get these chuckleheads?
Okay. My number 5 is Our Flag Means Death.
Ooh,
That's on there. What does that say?
Number 4 is Andor.
Ooh.
Had to give me some Skarsgård love. He's got to get on there somehow.
7 locked in.
It's being sarcastic before.
Number 3, I have What We Do in the Shadows.
Ooh.
2, Severance.
I think that's 8.
1,
Another
God of
lock-in.
War.
God of War. Okay. Wow. So yeah, we have 8 locked in a 5-person list.
That's not too bad.
It's not so bad.
This
We can
is
just vote on the
hard.
ones we think should be removed at the end. Like,
Yeah, get Glass Onion out of there.
I don't mind that. I kind of picked that at a time when I had Googled what ensemble meant. So
okay.
It is the true ensemble.
the other ones aren't ensemble cast. That's why.
What We Do in the Shadows is pretty ensemble-y.
We'll get rid of the next year. The word will never be mentioned again.
Yes.
It'll just be.
I do know that what is it, Matthew Berry, the guy who plays Laszlo.
Yeah.
Been watching Garth Marenghi's Dark Place on Amazon Prime, and
I've
he's
seen
in
some of
that
that
show.
Yeah.
And they purposely dub all of his lines out of sync. So it's pretty hilarious.
Good one.
Are you adding that to the list?
No, the show came out like way a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. So to make it easy, so we've got what do I have? Like 9 bolded, 8 bolded, something like
We got
that.
some triples from there.
We got some triples and stuff. Do we want to say anything not bolded at this point is just eliminated? Like bodies, Bullet Train, Peacemaker, the Afterparty, Rings of Power, This Fool, The Menu, Barbarian, the Fabelmans, the Batman, and What We Do in the Shadows are currently like out of the bubble completely. At
My
this
full
point.
5 is bolted, so I'm straight.
All right, so we need to get rid of some of those. Let's
Oh, man,
remember that
God.
aspect.
Mike, and then boom. That's,
Yeah, just get rid of Mike's 5 and we're good.
I got
But are
3
we
out of 5.
okay?
I'm happy.
Are we okay with getting rid of the ones, kind of that are
The only one I'm a
bolded?
little iffy on is the Batman, because I completely forgot that even came out this past year.
Oh man, I thought there was going to be some big Batman love.
Well, it came out so early. It's one of those, like, it was my Aaron moment. It was like, I didn't watch anything. I was like, oh yeah, I saw the Batman.
I think there's much better on some the Batman isn't as it doesn't even its side casting I don't think is quite as strong as some of the others.
The cast is getting its own show.
Yeah.
And shit, so so.
Just compare. I agree. It's not like it's bad or anything, but it's
no.
sub to some of the other things list.
I did enjoy, like, mental patient Batman. Like this
Are
Batman.
you just
had.
cutting these things out, Eric? We're not going to have a real. Oh,
I'm not doing it. I'm just
I see.
kind of moving them around
Organizing.
on the dock a little bit.
I see.
Like
My
right
biggest-
now,
Gotta get close.
didn't we have like 3 Ragnarok stands? I feel like was that
Pick Ragnarok.
I'm gonna
triple
be honest,
Ragnarok?
I've only played Ragnarok for like an hour.
I played for quite a few hours.
I've been so busy, dude.
We had a lot of
Played a lot
the
of
Bear
Crisis
Love, if I remember
Yeah.
correct.
The Twin Clove.
Yeah.
That's
I
one of
think the
those
bear
where they're
has
just
to make.
shitty.
Yeah.
They're shitty people.
Who's shitty?
People in the bear.
Are
They
they?
are.
Or do
Oh,
they
that-
just have
Oh, that-
heads?
That
I think
dude
it's
with the
just like
eyes.
once you
eyes.
enter this environment, like it's
Yeah, their products are
It's
that
really
way.
just one
you know?
person I don't like.
I hated that one lady cook the whole show until she got nice. I'm like, okay, I get her.
Oh yeah.
So
First
Everyone-
two episodes, I wanted to
from
fucking shove her head in an oven, but
from
That was
top
like
to
every
bottom.
character.
Everyone's perfect in that show
Hell yeah.
for what they're from Fack to all the way to Carmi. Like everyone's
Yeah.
yeah,
casted great. I think for my money, Sydney's the best character.
absolutely.
yeah,
It's just such a good show.
it is.
I don't even think anything will be argued for, honestly. If
It's a lot of things. It's a lot
Oliver
of close
Platt
to
is like the
home.
weird, mob bossy kind of character.
I
Is
dig
great
this
too.
show a lot, but to me, all of the characters felt a little samey to me. Like, and that's not meant to really be, but like, really, it's just a bunch of people who keep shooting themselves in the foot. Like, I feel like they all have that same story. Like you mentioned, the female cook and stuff like that. It's like she's just mean to be mean, and like if she was nice, or like if she could make people like believe in her or whatever else, or understand like her place in the kitchen and everything
Not-
else.
Like, do harm to others would be great.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like all of them just like are shitty to each other, and it's like so obvious to the viewer, at least to me. I feel like that like they're
that's the
just
thing.
doing harm to themselves. I don't know. They all fit into that same archetype in my mind.
That's
Like,
the type of
obvious-
show that is not for Kayla.
I
It's
think
obvious to the
man.
watcher, but like these are like real people. Like I've encountered a lot of these people. Like one, I'm in recovery, so like that and like just people in general like have undiagnosed mental shit. And if it was so easy as somebody telling you like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit, fix it," world would be a lot better place. But like these are people like doing their best with their like their defense mechanisms and whatever like structure they have, products of their environment, call it whatever you want, but like it was done really well. And having seen a lot of these quote unquote characters, like that's why the show was so hard for me to watch. Like I'm like whoop.
Yeah.
so much of the show is like cookie cutter for what's like almost stereotypical in restaurants. So a lot of the characters are archetypes of people you would see working back of house in a restaurant. Like if you read a book like Restaurant Confidential by Anthony Bourdain or anything like that,
Yeah.
you see like the long-term cook who treats all new people like shit. And so like these are common things in almost every kitchen that's existed for some time. And I think that's what they were going for, like welcoming people who don't work hard, like the friendly guy you work with that you like but he doesn't work hard, and things like that. People playing pranks and hazing, like it's a really common thing in kitchens. And I think a lot of what they went for was to show what it's like for restaurant workers. And I think they took a lot of what restaurant workers to say to heart when they wrote that show. So I think they come across like that, but I think those are common archetypes you find for people who are willing to work 50, 60-hour weeks in a hot kitchen for no money.
Well, it's like, they all felt the same to me. Like there wasn't a lot of, I wouldn't say all, but like there were like 5 characters that kind of almost felt interchangeable to me. Like I liked the action. I liked the show quite a bit, but like they just very much felt like just comparing to I don't know, Glass Onion or something, or Our Flag Means Death. That's a better one, I guess. Like those characters are just like so unique. Like each individual, like you can kind of pick out different ones. It's like in The Bear, I just felt like there wasn't as much to pick out, but that's fine. I shouldn't be shitting on them.
They're all restaurant people.
Yeah.
They're dealing with restaurant things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I rewatched
everybody.
I rewatched episode 7, the one shot one, and
great episode.
Yep.
Everyone is so they're not all the same at that point. There are different, like
there's growth.
The older female chef, she is kind of like she's very vulnerable in that state. She's late. She's trying to appease to Sydney, and Sydney is freaking out like because they had that great review and stuff, and certain people are excited about that and certain people aren't. And Carmi is just going batshit fucking crazy, and that just sets the tone for everybody when he's just going off. And Richie, the actor, I don't know, but he's in 2 great casts this year with Andor and The Bear now. Man, I don't know. I don't see the sameness thing.
Okay.
I thought everyone was really kind of had their own kind of arc, especially like Marcus with his donuts.
Yeah.
By
Richie
the end, you're definitely
boy.
right. Yeah. By the end, everyone kind of changes. Yeah.
Yeah. Richie's just
They are individuals.
idea of trying to hold on to this shitty old familiar place, and then he's so worried about it changing. I don't know. It's just for me, like the heart of the show exceeds the manic like meanness of it at times. I just felt like that was just a real family in that place.
The pure chaos, but yet like everything kind of coming together in the end. And like that, because honestly, like the chaos kind of like I had to take like long breaks watching this show because it hit a lot of nerves for me. Not necessarily bad, just like I would literally like I'd be like sweating after like some episodes because I'm like it's heavy, man. Like
I don't like to feel that way.
I don't either, but like the story and the character development and like everything, like it kept me in, and I'm glad I stuck it out. Also, Mike mentioned the one shot episode. To me, that was just, you don't get that often. I think the last time I saw a single shot of such extravagance was probably what was that movie that Josh was hyping about, where like dude kills all the people in the church? That was done in a single shot.
I think that's Face Off. But just so we don't go so we don't step on any other future discussions, we should kind of keep it to. Well, let's get off the bear first, but we should keep the discussion to.
We still got to eliminate 3 of these things
to like the characters,
Clearly
because this is
one.
best ensemble. Yeah, I don't think we're going to eliminate the bear anyway, so we can kind of lock in the bear, but like as opposed to going off of how great the show wasn't in its entirety and stuff, we should really keep it to like what made the characters special and that kind of thing. But I think the bear is in the 5 regardless.
Right.
So
Right, so
Mike
what's our
definitely
list?
swayed me with like by the end they all have an arc. Like maybe they started off in the same place, but I can definitely see that there's like growth in all of those characters. Aaron, you had said about Glass Onion that you were like okay with getting it off. Now I think it does have a really fun ensemble. So I mean, only if you felt really confident that it shouldn't be on here, I guess.
No, it is fun and it's ensemble, but I feel like I don't know. I'm not like I wasn't like excited about the cast or anything, with the exception of Ethan Hawke just being there. But like I don't know, like of the ones I said, that's the one I'm least pumped about. So
I'll at least put it at 9 for now in the power rankings here. I've God of War Ragnarok at 1 right now, with the bear at 2. Let's talk about Ragnarok. Let's talk about God of War Ragnarok. I think to me that is a very strong cast of like the wildest characters, and this is where like they do not fit in any sort of archetype like from the get-go. Like you've just got the wildest kind of, you've got Odin as this mob boss guy, Thor as emo Thor, which we haven't really kind of seen that portrayal of Thor in that sense ever. Kratos and Atreus's kind of growth as characters from the first game, and Freya gets to take a huge leap in this in terms of like her part in the plot and like where her character goes, and she's no longer just woman scorn. So I think it should definitely stay, and I think it's a strong pick. I don't know if it's necessarily number 1.
All 4 of you guys say God of War.
Was it 4? Was it 4 God of Wars?
And it's only because I haven't finished it. Like I was gonna say 0 out of 10. Wolf dies at the beginning of game.
Yeah,
Worst game of the year.
but Tomas,
big butt,
comes back as Giant Wolf later. So
okay.
Like,
so I'm out of this discussion.
Moot point. Don't strike it from the record.
So we feel pretty good of God of War and the Bears staying on the top 5. I think that's easy to say.
The Brock and Sindri stuff, like it's so good.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Brock and Sindri. Huge parts. Tomas, you had House of the Dragon, and so did Ryan. He's not here to defend himself. I really liked some of the characters in House of the Dragon. Primarily, I thought Daemon was great.
Daemon.
And God, who's the king? Viserys.
Viserys was cool.
Viserys is the good character.
I thought Viserys was gonna be dead like episode 2, man.
Oh, we're not getting audio from you, Kayla.
Oh no.
Those are the only 2 that do anything for me.
You didn't like Rhaenyra or
I mean,
what hurts that cast for me is the time jumpiness of it.
Ooh,
I
Yeah,
like
that's a good
Rhaenyra later on. I like
Yeah.
older Rhaenyra. Older, what's the queen's name?
Allison.
Allison, yeah. The characters that get to stick, like Daemon and Viserys and homeboy from the kicker from the Replacements, who's the hand.
Otto Hightower.
Yes, Otto Hightower.
Kicker from the Replacements.
That's what he is.
Man.
Those are the characters that you get to spend the most time with, and like you don't get to see them as like annoying children. So I don't. To me, that there's like two sides to the coin on that cast. There's a bad part and a very good part.
Yeah,
and there's only there's a lot fewer of the people that are really stand out and that really mean anything and do anything. This show kind of fell away for me. I don't really.
And I just hate the skeevy foot fetish guy. I just fucking hate it so bad.
I think he's so compelling, though. I don't know. He's a weirdo.
Compelling?
Yeah.
What?
Just because he's a fucking weirdo. Like, he's just an agent of chaos and, like, just pulling strings and stuff. I don't know.
The fact that, like, his name is, like, a combination of the two sneaky characters from Game of Thrones is just silly, too. Like, and they did avoid the crab feeder wrong, man. The crab feeder should have been a thing. He should have
been a thing. From what I understand, he was an even smaller part in the actual books. So,
well, yeah, the book like gives everything like a sentence or something. You know, like they have to expand on that. Like it's like a companion piece. That book, like it's like a textbook.
Yeah.
So like no love for House of the Dragon. Okay, we'll set that one down.
Love.
I liked it. Yeah. Okay, so what I was gonna say is I was just excited to be excited about, Game of Thrones again.
Yeah.
Like I am looking forward to what they can churn out. They put out a good enough product for me to stay on board. And for me, that's like, and then it was like the first like show of the year that like I legit watched, it was episodic and like I was excited for, my Sundays, but I'm old. So like I was excited for the Mondays when I got off of work to watch it. But I remember going into work and being like, no spoilers. I'm going to watch it tonight. But it's good.
It was great event programming for sure. Like I enjoyed seeing it every Sunday night for the most part.
All right.
See, I was disappointed in it overall.
I had my expectations so low for it.
Same here.
I wouldn't say I had any for it.
Oh, okay. I think by the end, that cast was the best part of it. I was into like where they all were at the end and what was going to happen.
That's exactly what I would say is like that. Like there wasn't a bunch of huge battles or like really compelling like set pieces as much for me. It was like, okay, like I want to. Daemon's cool, Rhaenyra's cool, Rhaenys is like interesting in her in a small part. Like the Corlys, the Valerian, I think.
Yeah.
Like they're just it's the most cast, I think. Like just like Game of Thrones, where there's 55 characters or whatever. There's also like a billion in House of the Dragon. So it feels like it fits the category pretty well. But if there's not a lot of love for it, then it doesn't have to be here. Like,
I don't like the look of that one-eyed kid.
Kid? You mean the 35-year-old with one eye?
Yeah, exactly. He's like the boy version of one of the Megan dolls from that movie or something. I don't know. He just looks fake. Like I don't know.
That fucking smile, bro.
House the Dragon goes down.
Okay, I've already put it like just above Glass Onion in terms of power rankings here. Next up,
Andor.
I don't know. Maybe no. I'm kidding.
Wait, we'll see. But let's talk a little Andor here.
Didn't watch it.
Okay.
Discuss.
Andor can win all of these. I chose to not have Andor on my list, but the cast is amazing.
I think there's some real standouts. I really dug like Deidre Miro, the female like bad lady, Imperial lady. I thought she was really good. Obviously, Stellan Skarsgård. What's his character name? Luthen, right? Stands out. But I don't know, man. I thought like Andor himself was meh.
What? Oh man,
didn't do it for me. I don't know.
Cassian's great. Kino Loy, the whole the whole heist crew,
the whole prison part, like all the people in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Bix, all of the people in that weird stonemason town. Like I forget Ferrix. The guy who strikes the anvil, like bell tower every day, is like super interesting. It's like the most interesting Star Wars has ever been for me. Is this show? Like
that's what I've heard. Now is Dash Rendar in it?
Yeah, he's the guy who strikes the anvil.
Will you guys fucking watch the best show of the year? God damn.
I think Tomas would really like it.
I think it's certainly worth watching, Tomas.
I just got rid of Disney Plus. So
oh, well.
It was kind of on accident. Somebody stole my my login shit, and then like they had me do like a temporary like rollover because I had just paid for that month, and then I just forgot to re-sign.
Hey man, boom! That's a free trial now. New email address, done deal. Boom.
Oh, man,
Andor, that's worth the trial.
Andor, account? I don't know. I just felt like a little too much Star Warsy stuff coming out. So.
Oh, definitely. But this is, hey man, I think this is the best that Star Wars.
Well, no, that's what I heard. Like it's.
I wouldn't even think of this as Star Wars. Like if it stands alone.
Okay,
pretty well.
Do I need to know much about the universe to watch it?
From what I've heard, people who like aren't Star Wars fans and stuff still dig it. Like I go into it with a real bias of like I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so like I want to see
prequels.
Yeah, I want you. I do. I like the prequels. I want them to hit the Star Wars. You know,
you like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
I remember borrowing that VHS from you.
All right, so right now, I kind of made some movement. We got God of War, Ragnarok, The Bear, and Andor kind of in the upper echelons of things right now. Do we want to talk Reservation? Oh, Kayla, what's up?
I want to see Severance above Reservation Dogs.
Let's talk Severance first, then.
Mike, you're on.
Yes, I do. I just let him do it because he says all the right stuff, and
no,
he ran away.
I think that's
try it now.
That's our vote right now. It's gone.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming back. There he is. He's back. He's back.
Perfect.
Better than ever.
Keep that shit in.
We're talking Severance?
We're talking Severance. Let's talk
You're
some
talking
Severance.
John Turturro? Like, let's talk about John Turturro.
Two fantastic roles this year.
Christopher Lloyd, right? Is that no? It's
Christopher Walken.
Yes, Christopher Walken. Right.
Adam Scott, Patricia Arquette, all of these weirdos in this like strange Twilight Zone office drama, like weird thing. Mr. Selvig, right, is like the weird like supervisor authoritarian like man, just the dynamic of this weird like group of characters that can't remember anything outside of this place.
They set the scene and there's really not too much for them to work with, and they do so much. Like they're just in an office space with no windows, and it's just them together.
Yeah, just the way that the rules of this place dictate the characters. Like they're excited for the end of the month bonus. Like if you do the most you get the highest score on this weird like fucking game that they like their job.
Decipher,
like,
yeah,
collecting this data or whatever. You can get like a Chinese finger trap or something like a little.
But what
little
are we
tchotchke.
doing? We have no idea.
Right, and getting the surprise dance parties that could just happen, like if you do well on a shift, and just the dichotomy of all the different departments and the hush hush. You can't, and the departments actually becoming two of the departments becoming friendly towards each other was so fun. But then there is the personalities outside, and other than the guy, the brother-in-law, he's like from Orange is the New Black. He's really good and funny. The author guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't that was the most frustrating part of the show for me, was that aspect of the, ooh, you almost figured it out, Adam Scott. Your character almost like just, if you just would have lingered in this one spot for an extra second, you would have saw Patricia Arquette or something.
But I think honestly, that's one of the, in regards to like the characters and stuff, like it's one of the coolest things and the most maybe unique thing about Severance as opposed to any of these others, because each character is kind of two characters. Like each person is their inside and their outside self, and I think that's done so well. Like, I mean, and it's to the plot too. Like you see, like people leading literal double lives, like very aware of who they are
within a cast.
It really is, yeah, and I think it makes it the most unique on the list. I'm fully into Severance having being on the ensemble list. Aaron, did you check out Severance, or you weren't in on Severance?
No, I haven't seen that.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, cool. So it's the three of us all loving Severance. That's cool.
It's a little thrillery. I think you'd like it. I think you should.
Oh, I think you'd be crazy not to. Okay, so let's.
Ben Wyatt, I'm in.
Yeah, he's great.
So really, it feels like it might be, as far as cuts go. I'm kind of feeling like House of Dragon and Glass Onion didn't have a ton of juice. So now, to make a top five, or to make a five in the bubble kind of situation, we got Reservation Dogs and we got Our Flag Means Death, two Taika Waititi adjacent properties, with kind of similar sentiments at points. And I think it's kind of between them to round out the five, right? And then we can talk about order from there. We got God of War Ragnarok, Andor. I think, locked in. If we agree with that, we got The Bear, we got Andor, we got Severance. If we agree with those four, maybe not in that order, but
I like that order.
Damn, is Res Dogs gonna get
not even in the discussion?
Cherokee people.
No.
Cherokee tribe.
I think.
Come on.
Well, let's talk.
I don't think Our Flag Means Death can be left off. Like I don't know. I would fight. That was my number 2
over Res Dogs.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, for me too.
Okay, well, it was on my list and it wasn't on.
That's why I'm worried about Res Dogs, but I think it comes down to Res Dogs and Andor.
Okay, let's put Andor at the 5 slot here. See how that looks here. So Andor v Reservation Dogs. I think Andor's probably, not that this should, it doesn't matter, but I think Andor's maybe the better show, but not the better cast. I don't know.
I'm with you.
It has a fewer cast, maybe a fewer main, like the main people in Res Dogs are fewer. Andor's really spread. I don't know. Never mind. I scratch all that.
Yeah, Res Dogs has some cool, like, just little side, like, like Big and stuff. Like
I would not call Big a side. Big The adults were my favorite part in Res Dogs. this
acid trip
season.
episode.
I think this season did a much better job than the first season, honestly, of highlighting like a lot of the
I don't want to
side
say
people.
the kids were annoying, but I like
took a
the
back
adult
seat
part
often.
better. Yeah.
Well, I think they purposely put them in the background in like half the episodes, and it did,
Right.
you know.
I
yeah.
enjoyed Willie Jack moments.
Of course.
I can agree. Alora and fucking Bear were probably the most annoying. I enjoyed the cheese stuff.
Yeah, I did too.
But
Stuff
but
was-
I get that it was a bigger picture kind of thing. You know, these are kids
Yeah.
growing up, dealing with all the shit that happens in their life that they have no control over. But I don't want to get into like moments or anything yet. So
Right. I think one argument I would make for Res Dogs over Andor would be like Andor has so much baggage attached to it, like it's in space. It's this like huge, big budget, awesome space odyssey with like themes and characters we kind of know. Well, like we've already met like Cassian Andor and stuff in Rogue One, and we know the Empire. We know like it's sci-fi. It's like big sci-fi fantasy, with these huge themes and everything else. So you don't need like the stakes are already so high in that you don't need to like as an actor or as like a character do as much necessarily to still like be captivating, whereas like Reservation Dogs is such a kind of a small story, such like an inside story of just like normal people for the most part, and the characters make it outsized in a lot of way, like they just blow it up like and do just wild shit, you know.
Yeah, Andor's like 3 different shows. Like there's 3 like whole shows inside of that one show, basically.
Mhm.
And Res Dogs, like, yeah, it's just such a more insular thing. The characters can just expand out. You can have like just a cheese episode or a Willie Jack episode, and then they come back together.
I did those.
And just seeing the adult parts are the kids seeing like what their lives are going to be very soon. Like they're at that fork in the road. Like, did they miss the turn left when they should have went right or something? You know, like they're going to be their aunts and the uncles and the, you know, that they're seeing around them. And it's just such, it's really good. Res Dog's really
It
good.
is hard to pick between these two.
Okay, I was about to hit that unbolded on Andor, but I mean, speak now or forever hold your peace. Or I mean, we still have our flag means death, or are we saying that's definitely locked in? We didn't talk too much about our flag means death. We just kind of said like, oh yeah, it's got to be there, right? Like
It's just so that whole pirate crew is so much fun. Stede Bonnet, love him. Taika as Ed Teach, Blackbeard, like, give him the Emmy. I don't know. He's really so fun. I don't know. It was a while ago when I watched it, but just like all of the little romances and relationships and within the crew are done really well. Besides the bear, it's the cast that I want to be back with again with the second season the most. So I think that show was the reason why I wanted to do this like category.
Nice.
Because I didn't know if it was gonna be good enough like to make it on like anything else, and I just felt like I wanted that show to be recognized somehow. And really, this is the way to do it.
you feel that way too, Kayla? Like kind of
About our flag means death?
yeah.
Yes, but yes.
Cool.
I won't. It's just it's a lot of pieces moving.
I feel you.
Looking at the rest of my list.
So if I unbold Andor here, I'm gonna just do that. You know, don't shoot me. We would have in no particular order, we'd have God of War Ragnarok, we'd have The Bear, we'd have Severance, we'd have Our Flag Means Death, and we'd have Reservation Dogs. Reservation Dogs was on the bubble the longest, I feel, of any of these. So it would kind of make sense at 5, maybe, but I can be swayed. What do we think about Reservation Dogs at 5?
I can live with it.
Mike, you look concerned.
No, I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to The Menu, which I watched recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Menu might have been my 6.
Ooh.
I thought that was a really just fun cast. That whole movie lives and dies by it. All those little characters, from Ray Fiennes to Johnny Legs.
Johnny Legs.
Even just the chefs in the background, just them being stoic and standing there have to be like perfect too.
Lots of yes chef on this list.
Yes.
Chef.
It's big chef year. Big chef.
I really wish I
Year of the
hadn't seen like multiple long form trailers for The Menu, because I feel like they give away way too much. Like if I went into The Menu sight unseen, that might be my movie of the year or something. But like I kind of knew what to expect, and I feel like it just played those keys. It was good, but it was just it was what was in the trailer. There wasn't much additional intrigue, but
I don't think the best part of the chef is the like story or twist or anything. So I don't think knowing ahead of time really affected the story for me, or like affected how much I liked the movie. I think so much of it was just like you think it's like this highbrow stuff, but he's just killing people who look down on him, and it's amazing. And I love it. So
that was great.
There we
go. Big recommend for The Menu. All right. Kayla, what do you think about Reservation Dogs at 5? Does it deserve higher? Lower? Are we gonna re-up the Andor conversation, or maybe House of the Dragon comes back into the fold?
Well, one of those 3 things are on my list, and
obviously
that is where I am having a hard time. I really liked the discussion around Reservation Dogs, but Andor was the one that I picked.
Okay.
I
can bold it again.
Mike would have Andor on
you
his
didn't
list.
have to. I can be swayed. Like I said, I liked the conversation. I liked all the points that were made about Reservation Dogs.
Okay.
I like everything, and there's where I just can't make the decision.
I feel you.
I think Res Dogs at 5 is good because it's not the first time we're introduced to all these characters. It's, second year with them. And I just still love being with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're fun.
They're welcome, overwhelmed, or whatever that saying is,
They didn't overstay their welcome.
Yeah. They didn't overwelcome their welcome.
Yes.
They didn't just stand there and say, welcome.
The classic native term, welcome, you're welcome, welcome.
It said a lot in Moana.
Right. Okay, let's tentatively lock in Reservation Dogs at number 5 on Best Ensemble. Next up was Our Flag Means Death on this. I like it at 4 here, just because I like the 3 above it. I would say a little bit better. It's got one of the more unique casts, but I don't know. Yeah.
My vote would be to swap it with Severance.
Okay. What do you feel about that, Kayla? I think we're the 3 who
That's fine with me.
Have seen those, because Aaron and Tomas, you haven't seen either of Our Flag Means Death?
Still haven't gotten Apple TV.
No,
right.
I haven't seen Reservation Dogs either.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. Doesn't got a horse in the
really
race. Yes.
To me, I would.
You guys really should.
I'd knock The Bear down from here. I like Our Flag Means Death and Severance cast and ensemble better than the bear. Like I said, they start off super samey to me, whereas Our Flag Means Death from the get-go, everyone's unique. Everyone's
Very
a
clash.
weirdo.
Like there's a lot of clash in the bear too. I don't
Well, the clash, it's not about the clash. It's not about the actions. It's about like
this differences. They're so different.
I think the bears just planned out along a different track. Like you meet them and they seem the same and they're kind of hostile and non-welcoming, but as you get to know them, you notice the differences and depths of their characters. I think it takes a harder way. I think it's harder to develop a character that way than just, I don't know, like an RPG cast of every character is dressed completely differently and acts completely differently from the get-go, just so you can differentiate them.
Yeah, character development versus character uniqueness, I guess, would be the argument, as far as that goes. Because, like, yeah, I definitely think that there was a good amount of character development in the bear, but like, I don't know, that seems more like an action versus I don't know. It's a little weird for me, I guess, if I'm not making that
real
argument
people
well.
in one small building, like. And you do slow, like as you do in a workplace, you do get to know all of these people and all their little quirks and what makes them different. And I don't know, the bear just totally works for me. I like the bear where it's at.
Yep.
Wow.
The bear does it.
All right. That's fine. I mean, like, once again, are we conflating the show with the characters, or do we, or not? I mean,
the show is the characters.
The show is characters. We're talking
I think
best
this is the
ensemble.
list. I don't think we need to change it.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I didn't. I liked that show for the action. I liked that show for like what went down and how. Like that One-er episode was fantastic. Just I love the frantic energy of that show, and also seeing like what a what the back of a cafeteria, the restaurant, like looks like.
Very small restaurant,
right? Yeah, and like those dynamic and stuff. And I felt like the characters for me took second shift to that. It was like what was on screen, like the shit that was going down, and like
need the characters for that.
I guess it just always felt like everyone was just yelling and being shitty to each other as they would. Like it felt real. It felt like real, but it did not. They didn't feel differentiated to me until like the very end when they're supposed to be. Once like, oh yeah, I've got other dreams aside from this shop kind of thing.
Dreams, man. I like the show.
Show's great.
Is anybody not ready to move on? Does anybody have any?
So what's the tentative list right now? Number one, Elden Ring.
We haven't talked. I mean, God of War Ragnarok just kind of has been sitting up at number one without much discussion one way or another. Then it would be the bear. Then it would be Our Flag Means Death. Then it'd be Severance. Then it would be Reservation Dogs.
And I'm fine with that.
I think four of us really love the cast of God of War, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think if
I played it, I'm sure I'd be right.
Like, I don't know.
Sorry, my life is super busy. I have to turn the second half of this office into my game room so that I can like PlayStation 5 in one room, and then I just keep the PS4 as our streaming device and
nice.
Take some time to myself on the weekends.
Totally, it's a fucking 50-hour investment, but
yeah.
I feel confident that you would have liked the cast as well.
I'm sure I would have.
So okay, I'm cool with Ragnarok being number one. I think there's no argument against it at this point.
Even like the one like so much like hour that I played of it, and Jackie was watching me play, like she's like, "Oh man, like this is really interesting," like and all that. Until I started punching bears, and then she was all out. Like it's. I mean, I get that. Like, I love a good narrative in a game. You know, it took like every category except for Game of the Year. So, and wasn't one of them.
It's
like,
funny. It's funny how that happened. Isn't that weird?
Like one of them, like main dude who plays fucking God of War dude Kratos, like he did like a what
Chris
13 minute
Jones
speech or some
Christopher
shit.
Judge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah.
very long speech at the Game Awards. Okay, well, hey, if you guys all feel comfortable with this, it's a democracy here on the Machine of Nonsense. So, okay, one last time. God of War Ragnarok, number 1. The Bear, number 2. Our Flag Means Death, number 3. Severance, number 4. And Reservation Dogs, number 5 for Best Ensemble Cast.
Yeet.
Let's move on to my next 5 that will make the
Everything.
This one we're gonna end up with like 25 different things.
This one's gonna be probably a little bit tougher.
So
My personal long list was massive for best moment. I'll start with Ryan's just so I don't forget, and also because some of these are incomprehensible. So might as well
Okay.
get them on there and go from there.
anime.
He's got some fantastic choices. On the ones I know are really good choices. I just don't know several of them. So, Chainsaw Man, he has Himeno, and it says,
You
if
got
you
it.
know, you know, no spoilers. So,
You should have spoiled.
Little nugget.
I've heard nothing.
For me, so
Okay, so like I watched about like 5 minutes of Chainsaw Man just because I went over to a friend's house and it just so happened to be on in the living room. And I was just being facetious. I was like, is this the Chainsaw Man everybody's talking about?
Heard good things.
and it was.
Show enough, it was the Chainsaw Man.
I watched 4 episodes of the Chainsaw Man.
Do you know what he's talking
Do you
about?
know who Himeno?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
Like-
That is fine. Let's do it.
It's like Thrones, man. It takes like a season before you learn everybody's names.
Yep. When I think of Game of Thrones, I think of Chainsaw Man. His
Absolutely.
number 2, I don't know if these are in order, so I'm just saying them. Rings of Power, Adar's conversation with Galadriel, and I do know this one. It's a really good part of Rings of Power.
Okay.
Really good
Cool.
conversation between Adar and Galadriel.
Yep.
So. For number 3, the Batman, leading civilians through the water with a flare. Mike recently said that was one of his best scenes.
Love that shot.
Love the
just
shot.
That whole thing. That's a good one. That's really good.
It's a great shot. Just watched that hours ago. The Fabelmans, the last shot of the movie. None of us have seen the Fabelmans, but I bet you it's wonderful. And
I almost pulled the trigger on that. It's $20. I almost rented it, but I was like, it'll be on HBO in 2 weeks.
Pretty soon.
or something.
pretty soon. And then One Piece, episode 1015. That's 1015. It encapsulates chapter 1000 from the manga, is what he says. So, only
the
two.
episode is his moment?
What was that, Aaron?
So the whole episode is his moment?
Yes, the entire
Oh.
episode. I think so. Seems like it. And an episode in a show or like a manga, whatever that is thousands long, maybe an episode counts.
It's a moment.
It's a moment. So yeah, that is Ryan's list. Only 2 anime entries. You guys did
Not bad.
Ryan dirty. He's much more thoughtful than that, guys.
I knew One Piece was going to be on there, but he was pretty hyped like one day and posted on Facebook. So
Mike, did you want to go first on as far as the cast who's assembled here?
Sure.
Which
I will start with one I just call the Umbrella Corpse instead of Umbrella Corp. Get it? We had Nope on our spoiler list, right? It was on that.
It was.
yes, oh yeah.
Okay. So Nope wasn't a movie that I loved, but Jordan Peele gave me something that I'd kind of never seen before in this scene where 2 characters are like trapped in this house in this big rainstorm, and the monster who has just eaten like a whole amusement park of people has kind of elongated, it's stretched itself out like an umbrella over the house, blocking the rain, but then it starts, you start hearing just screams of the people that are being digested inside of it, and all of their belongings start falling out along with their blood, I guess, and house keys and fucking, credit cards are getting stuck in like the porch and things like that.
Jewelry and clothes and
it was just a chilling sequence.
And I mean, that's a twist too that you don't learn later. At least I didn't realize that what we were looking at was not a spaceship; it was a creature. That's not told to us until later. So,
right.
So it's fun.
So my next one is, so this year I kind of just took off like the lock on having game help, like looking up videos on how to cheese bosses and shit. Did a lot of that this year, not gonna lie. Elden Ring, Radon, cheese the shit out of you, buddy. Mogwin or whatever. I jumped on top of that wall and you didn't trigger your like activating sequence, and you just stood there while I
time is money, bro.
15 minutes.
Let's go.
But my favorite one was in Tunic, and there is a boss called the Boss Scavenger.
The bows.
And the Boss Scavenger, that fight sucks dick. It is bullshit. It is not fun. It is just banging my head against it, trying to kill this fucking boss with these shitty fucking moves. But looked up a video. It's another one where you can trigger the fight before it's supposed to happen, and you have like a hook shot type item, and you can pull the boss to his death before the fight even starts. And it was just a great triumphant moment for me where I was able to just move forward in this great game and complete it.
Moment.
I will say that I also cheesed that boss, and thank you, Mike, for telling me about that cheese.
You're welcome.
It's on the list. Lock it in.
And the funny thing is, the boss is a giant mouse type person, so the cheese part is even greater, multiple levels.
I'm bolding it, even though I do not have it on my list.
Yeah, I'm about to say, put that bad boy on there.
Doesn't that boss suck, Eric? Doesn't that boss
sucks?
A piece of shit?
I tried that boss 20 times, like without a cheese, and I was gonna quit Tunic. So thank you, Mike.
Side note: I had grilled cheese yesterday, and I saw a mouse in my garden yesterday too.
Holy shit! This is
bold it.
Bold.
That's
Can
three.
I double bold? Did anyone know how to double bold in Excel? I don't know.
Lock that shit in.
Italics.
My next one is the IllumiNOTi massacre in Doctor Strange. When we're introduced to our first,
it is good.
MCU version of like Reed Richards, and we're getting a different Captain Marvel. We're getting Captain Patriot. What's Peggy's
Captain
American name? Captain Carter. And of course, we get the we get the little jingle, and Patrick Stewart comes out. But then they are quickly just disposed of as easily as any of the students at at the Wong School, whatever that's called.
No.
And
a lot of long
The temple.
yeah,
Hermitage.
and I just thought Scarlet Witch was the best part of that movie. She was so creepy and scary, and just the way she just disposes of like the most powerful people in that world, that universe, whatever.
Multiverse
was so cool, so well done.
What's so fun about multiverses? You can just blow shit up, and it's like nothing happened.
Move on to the next.
Just write it off, baby. Those guys ain't important.
I wrote IllumiNOTi, like NOT. So just so yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My next one is the dirt bike chase at the end of season 3 of Barry, episode 6. It's just an amazing action piece, in this show. It's like Michael Bay, Michael Mann caliber shit. It's Barry is being hunted by this family of champion motocross riders because he was involved in the death of their brother in season 2, I believe. And it's just amazing sequence of him being chased and being shot at by these just bumbling fools that are just really good with dirt bikes and have no idea how to shoot weapons, apparently. And he gets on the dirt bike and he's just, he thinks he's getting away. He's singing a song. He's got these little bag of beignets, I think they're called. Beignets, sorry. And
French.
They're catching up to him. He's on the freeway. They're like, there's a traffic jam. They're all driving in between the cars. The leader of the bumbling idiots has like a giant LMG that he's like, he takes like he shoots at Barry like 100 times and misses it all. He goes, hand off. And he tries to hand off this giant gun that's the size of a dirt bike itself to one of the other guys. He fucks up the handoff. It fucking makes the other guy crash. There's only like one person chasing Barry at this point, and it leads them to like this used car lot where they're filming like a commercial for the car lot at the time. The building is such where the bad guy can drive his dirt bike to the roof of the car lot and just starts unloading inside. The manager of the place brings out a shotgun. He's like, not today. And just kills the guy on the roof. And Barry slips away to where he's to almost his death on where he gets poisoned at a reunion of his for his military friends. And it's just like the best. It's so good.
It was on my long list. It was a good one.
And my last one is the break room sequence in Severance. Severance for me is a pretty good show that just could not live up to how good this moment was for me.
Ooh.
This was like the height of the show. So we kind of talked about the weird rules inside the office, and if you kind of really break a rule, you get sent to the break room. And when we find out what that is you are basically, it's like you're strapped into this chair and you are forced to read this whole tablature of like speech of how sorry you are. And the machine will tell if you mean it or not. So Helly winds up saying, I think she tells Adam Scott like 1,200 something times that she had to read this over and over again. And she just looks like it completely just like changes who you are after you experience like the break room. And Mr. Milchek is the character that's forcing you to read it over and over again. And just him like, nah, wasn't good enough. You know, just his delivery every time of like, nah, read it again. Nah, gotta do it, you know, mean it this time. Like, just
so good.
Just chilling stuff. Really good stuff for me.
Love a good play on words with the break room. It's real good.
Yeah.
Good list, Mike. Good list. Naughty, potty, break. And we're back, and Tomas is on his list of the best moments of 2022. What you got, Tomas?
So I was thinking about this because Ryan obviously watched The Rings of Power.
Oh, yeah.
I went for the low-hanging fruit. Now, I put down the Sauron reveal.
Sure.
But, I mean, that
Two
was...
different moments, my friend. You trying to get a free bold here?
The only bold we have right now is the scavenger cheese.
No, just make the point. You know, I like the representation. I enjoyed I enjoyed it. Like to
Thank
me,
you,
like
Matt Thomas.
I made the comparison between this show and Game of Thrones a lot. Like it's but I don't know. There's something about like just that Tolkien world that's like just gorgeous to me that I really enjoyed about watching The Rings of Power. But yeah, we'll go with that one. Sauron reveal. Been riding shotgun the whole time. So, no particular order, by the way. Yeah, and then I went with the one shot bear episode. One, just because incredible episode, but two, just to me, it's always impressive when somebody can film something in a singular shot. Like I'm a little bit I wouldn't say like I'm a huge film buff, but like something just about like being able to get all of that shit. Like it's pure chaos, and then you like, it's like it's one and done. It's not an easy feat to do. I'm more impressed by that, honestly. Not to say it's a bad episode, but like just
It's great.
yeah,
It's part of it. It's part of what makes it.
Yeah, it's such a perfect show to do that on too.
Yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, swirling chaos, and you got it all done. Like, impressive. All right. I got my shit like written all over like this little. Jackie's got these cute like little flower note things, but like there's not much space to write on them. So like,
Yeah, they look super efficient for making lists.
yeah, like mine are like written in a circle and like upside down.
Sphere of nonsense.
We definitely can't read it when you show it to us, so don't worry.
The flowers look great though.
True.
I can barely read it myself.
Flowers are still standing.
I guess I had trouble like kind of narrowing this down with Res Dogs, like because
Pick the
I talk about character growth. I talk about character growth a lot, but I really enjoyed like Willie Jack's like spiritual kind of like journey that she like went through. I know it was probably like a couple episodes long, but like just getting everything together, like the parts for like. Daniel's like letter that he wrote, and I guess I'll like kind of culminate it like down to like just like where they all sit down and they read the note, and like they finally like they're in the process of like coming to terms with like their friend is gone, and they need to like stop being so selfish about themselves and like actually process their emotions with like how that fucked with them, and kind of get past it. So yeah.
Is that when they're on the beach?
No. Like when, like, because I guess they wrote something like freshman year or like at the beginning of the year, and then they get his note at the end of like the school year, and
The teacher gives it to homegirl.
Yeah, Willie Jack, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah,
That's good.
and so that's kind of like a bit, I guess, like the crescendo of like all their like little growths and like their like fuck ups throughout the season, kind of like meeting a nice center point. All right, what else do I got on here? I'm having trouble reading my own.
God, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I put down Daemon storms the gates. Crab people.
No.
Sorry, Mike. I didn't know much your love for the crab people before I wrote this down.
You could have been so cool.
I thought that shit was so sick, man. Old boy got tired. He was fed up of fighting this war, so he just fucking says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna handle business myself," and just go upstairs and wreck shop. Like that's when I was all in on Daemon.
It's
all
badass.
past and future transgressions aside.
Daemon is poo poo.
I don't like some of them. I don't like them.
Good stuff.
But I was like, yo, that's my boy.
Crab feeder, we hardly knew ye.
Like, look, man, we all know the Targaryens are fucked up. Like, all that other shit is, like, that's yesterday's news. So, but yeah, and then this one was just, I was struggling to find another moment, and also I love Paul Rudd. So I don't know if you guys watched Only Murders in the Building,
Oh, yeah.
second season. Paul Rudd cameo at the end, ends up. Well, he's going to be in the next season too, which is also why I'm excited for this with flashbacks and shit. So, but yeah, Paul Rudd, a small little cameo at the end of the season. He dies real quick, but you know, I was like, but I just remember like watching. I was like, oh my god, is that fucking Paul Rudd?
It's a real nice way to end that.
Yes.
Only murders in the theater.
Oh, that's good. What a show.
Yeah, I don't know. That show is super fun. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like groundbreaking, like on a lot of shit, but like they have a lot of fun with it, and I really enjoy it. And like, yeah, I like murder mystery stuff too. So
Love it.
I like trying to guess throughout the show. So, but yeah, that's my 5.
Oh yeah. So we got Mike, we got Ryan, we got Tomas. I'll go. Why not? So
Euphoria.
Tomas, fine. I'm gonna do it. My number 5.
I know there was a couple when I was doing the Aaron rabbit hole, like going down like the top of the year like list on Google searches. I saw a few Euphoria ones on there. So
I gotta do it. I know it's not gonna make the 5. It's fine, but I gotta speak my truth. You know, the play. Maud Apatow becomes a huge character in season 2 of Euphoria, and she writes a play about basically all of her friends, all of her acquaintances from high school, and all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this play takes place over like 2 half episodes. Basically, it straddles 2 episodes. And it starts off telling like the origin story of all of these kids, all of her classmates and stuff. So all of them are in attendance. It's a school play. It's like a high school senior play or whatever else. And they've been fighting and hating each other and, you know, cliques and everything else for all these episodes, and it starts off so beautifully, like, oh look at this, is where we all came from, we were all friends, we met on the playground, your mom knew my mom, etc., and you think all these characters are going to be brought together by this play. It's like, oh man, this is touching. And that's basically like the first half of it, and you see these characters kind of looking at each other in the crowd at this play, and like figuring it out a little bit, like, we've all kind of come from the same place, and we're all in this together kind of thing. And then it spirals, and it shows like she pulls no punches, and it shows like, you guys all suck, like here are the ways that everyone sucks. And I just like, it's such a cool, it's out there. Like Euphoria is just like a blown out insane version of like real life. I don't think it really properly kind of explains the story of high school or something, even in today's, but like it's this hyper melodramatic version of it, and putting that in a play, in an episode, which is shot so well, and it does flashbacks. You don't know what is the play and what's real life a lot of times, like what's a flashback and what is being shown in the play. You have cuts to these characters in the audience, kind of as their like hearts are sinking. Oh my God, she's gonna show this part of my life, my drug use or my like sexual promiscuity or whatever else. Like she's pulling no punches, and it just explodes in the same way that like the episode of The Bear does, where it's frantic, everyone's realizing things at the same time, everyone's, you know, taking it to 11, and it's just like, I think you could watch those, like it's basically 2 episodes, but it's half of one episode and then the beginning half of the next episode. I think you could watch that even not knowing any of these characters or liking Euphoria as a show or whatever else, and get something from that if you've like ever been in high school, like ever wanted to like just vomit up all of that emotion in a creative way or something. And I think it's just a real cool encapsulation of like all of those feelings, and it's beautifully shot, and it's not going to make our top 5, so on to the next one.
So like when Cole Furjack got punched in the face during theater science.
It's just like that. There are punches thrown in this scene, so yes, it's just like that.
Would that be like your number 1, Eric? Or
no, it's
oh, okay.
It's probably higher than 5 in my heart.
It sounds really cool.
It's fantastic. It's a wonderful scene. I highly recommend checking it out. I think it works even if you're not into the show Euphoria or those characters or whatever. I think it just works as like a a really cool set piece.
I'm gonna dial back on one of mine. My greatest moment is just all the times Aaron and I remembered getting roast beef sandwiches after theater dress rehearsals.
Then you love Euphoria. 90% of Euphoria is about roast beef sandwiches.
It's just.
I don't want to talk about food anymore.
Number 4 on my list is the landslide scene in X. This was a late entrance to my list. And the song "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac is kind of sung and by a character, and there's kind of like a 2-panel. You get to see Pearl, elderly Pearl, kind of, and what she's going through. And at this point, you don't kind of really know the height of her like psychosis and everything else. You just kind of see this old lady who is struggling with kind of being near death, and just like not kind of doing well about mortality and about where her life is, and like you don't even know this until you see the movie Pearl, the prequel to X, and I watched them X and then Pearl, like how they were intended, how they were released, and you don't even know this, but I think I felt it. Like I literally like was brought to tears as like Landslide is being performed, this kind of like sorrowful like song, and this just really, really like touching moment in an otherwise kind of like fucking wild, bloody ass like horror movie. I really felt for Pearl in those moments. So the landslide sequence in X is my number 4. Hey, you guys have ever heard of Tunic? I think just before the boss scavenger part is the rooted ziggurat. It is this really cool little segment where you are moving down on a ziggurat, a pyramid, a step pyramid,
Yes.
and you have to, as you Tunic is in like this 2D perspective for the most part, and they need a way for you to
2.5.
get around this pyramid and show that there's depth and everything else, and the camera moves, and it's been done in other video games and stuff, but this whole area is just this cool shade of like different neon tones, like dark neon, and the music in Tunic's great. There's like this dark synth wave going on, and it's just beautiful. It's like I want to show that scene to people of like, man, this is a video game that came out today. It looks like it could have been done on like an NES, but like could have never been done on an NES. And it's just like this cool encapsulation of like what can be done in the artistic side of video games, and I think it's just really cool. And then you go and cheese the boss. So you know,
I love when shit like that happens in video games, man. Like I'll never forget the first time I played Shadow of the Colossus. First time I fought fucking the boss in that field of flowers. Like moments like that, I feel like of the strongest arguments for, you know, video games and art medium, you know, back when it was kind of a little bit more debatable. I mean, we literally just put like God of War on the best ensemble. So,
yeah, I mean,
less debatable now.
Definitely.
But no, I feel you on that.
It was I literally, I think I said, I was like, wow, this is really nice. And it's kind of a quieter moment too. A lot of that game is combat and stuff like that, but it's more of an exploration moment where you're just kind of moving down this pyramid, and the pyramid is as you're going around corners, the entire camera is kind of going with you and stuff, and it's really pretty. It's a really cool scene.
The aesthetic of that game is just really nice in general.
I dug that game. Quite a bit, and it, you know, might come up later. Number 2 for me was hey guys, Tyr is Odin. Is the big reveal in God of War.
You're a Sauron.
It's it was like a wow, I did not see this coming. A big like what the fuck moment. A big character death. Just poignant in a lot of different ways. And also like listening like thinking about it after you see it, and like when you finish the game, and going back and kind of reading some of the things around it and listening to podcasts and stuff, it's like, man, I would have never guessed it, but there are little clues here and there, you know, like it's done so well of like not being obvious, I at least for me in any way, shape, or form, but like just a real like gut punch kind of moment for me, and maybe the climax of that game too, for me, just like the biggest moment and most in a game of a ton of big awesome set pieces and great moments and great like characters and stuff like that. Yeah, probably the most impactful for me in a lot of ways.
I love that Brock caught it, and like all the people who know Odin and Tyr didn't catch it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So those are cool scenes.
Brock.
Did you play after the story where you find actual Tyr?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
That was really cool. And my number one is the Rakakui scene in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I lost my shit in the theater for a long bit of time. It's so beautiful that it's like, because it's really two scenes, but like the visual, because first it's mentioned, you know, the mother, Michelle Yeoh's character kind of like says Ratatouille or Ratatouille. She calls it Rakakui. And it's just kind of a throwaway line earlier in the movie. And then while they're like traversing the multiverse of Everything Everywhere All at Once, you see a visual of raccoons controlling people a la Ratatouille, and it's the funniest thing I've seen all year, and it's the funniest thing I've maybe seen in like 5 years. It's just wonderful. I lost my shit. I still like I will laugh every time I even think about it. So in a movie of just like the wildest stuff, just scenes that make no sense and are just like the encapsulation of like what a multiverse could be and everything else in the year of multiverses, that scene really got me. Yeah, Rakakui in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Loved it.
Would be raccoon related for you.
Of course, it has to be. It's me. Who's next?
Got two.
You can go, Aaron.
Oh, okay. You'll see. Pull up my list. All right. So I also have the bear oneer. I know it's a moment. Like it's a 17-minute moment, but it's great how it goes without stopping through the lowest point for every single character, and it just plays out amazingly. So honestly, I had two from the bear because it was between that and the monologue he gives at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, where he's just talking about his brother, and that was, I believe that's before the one or right after the Oneer episode, and that before Mike had watched the show, I was texting him about that scene.
Oh, nice.
And I just love that, but I think the Oneer wins out for that. I have in the Batman, when they introduce Batman for the first time, where he's talking about like what it means like for him in the city, and it like the Dark Knight tries to hit on all they don't do business in the nighttime, but this one actually like shows they keep looking into shadows where he might be, and he's just not there. You don't know where he's gonna come, and then just in one of the random crimes being committed, he comes out of the shadows to fight, and it's just such like a real like how fighting actually works rather than just one guy decimating everybody. I love that.
And that chord, man, that chord that they keep playing.
Them boots coming.
Right, yeah, it's
very exciting.
It's like in Glorious Bastards with the bear Jew coming out the hallway. It's
hell yeah.
The other one, I got the twist at the end of Significant Other, which I really enjoyed.
Talking about the Limp Bizkit album, right?
Yeah, of course. It's just one of those days.
Yeah, you go that whole album and you're like, is it Limp Bizkit? And then you find out it's Limp Bizkit. It's
right. Nobody said fat yet, so I wasn't sure. Tales of the Jedi. The scene where, like, even though Dooku's already a traitor by that point, when he tries to get the council to do more to act on Qui-Gon's report of Darth Maul. And then he's died, and he's at the tree, like, just realizing he's doing the right thing for betraying everybody. And they're still trying to say, well, you don't blame the council. It's not their fault, right? But it's clear it kind of is. That's just I love the way he's just under that tree, and then he just, like, walks away. That's a really good scene, I think.
Yeah, I love that. Tales of Jedi. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Then I have, in the menu, where he runs it, like, he's just looking for reasons to kill people. And then he asks the girl if she went to college and if she has student loans. And when she doesn't, he says, well, you're going to die. I fucking love that.
That's good. Student loans, the menu. Man, this is going to be it's going to be a tough one to break down. Kayla, you're last, right?
Yep. And are all different.
Let's go.
Oh, we got 2 locked in, you know?
All right. I can't. Hold on. Okay. So for number 5, I have Every Inch Counts from the Barbarian with Justin Long. Just a good comedic break. Seen it in theaters. Eric also lost his shit when this happened, along with everybody else in the theater. Just a good fun moment. Next, I have Our Flag Means Death, passive aggressive. The Gentleman Pirate, Stede Bonnet, and his now friend Blackbeard. But he teaches Blackbeard what passive aggression is, being passive aggressive. Like, I don't remember what the line is that he says to Blackbeard, and then he teaches him. Oh, that's here. I'll read what he says here because it's fun. I looked at it. He says, yeah, that's called passive aggression. Pirates, they can attack with force, the upper crust. They strike with cutting remarks disguised as politeness. And then the whole episode kind of just lays into that. They go to like a fancy party, and Blackbeard thinks he's like really popular and cool, and then they start saying passive aggressive things to him, and he loses his shit, and it explodes, and they rob them all and move on. It's just a lot of fun.
That's really good.
Number 3, I have Ragnarok. I have Brock blessing the spear. This one's even really hard for me to talk about. I will tear up talking about it because
Great moment.
Kratos knows that Brock is missing bits of his soul. He learns that with Sindri, and he knows he's going on this trip with him where he's going to, I think he knows that the like mermaid lady's not going to see him because they talk to souls. And so he takes him there, and he knows he's going to face this with him and help him get through it. And as they're going, they're talking about smithing. I wrote this quote down too. And so they're just like casually, they're getting to the place, and Brock says like, oh, the nature of the thing's more important than the form of a thing. And Brock finds out he doesn't have a soul, and Kratos asks him to bless the spear because the mermaid didn't listen to Brock. And he says, it's the nature of the thing. It's more important than the form. It's really touching.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man.
Then, for the longest time, I had 2 God of War moments here, and I decided just to take it off and put the Batman Penguin chase.
Oh, that was fun.
My favorite scene of this movie is the whole chase, and then he crashes, and he's upside down, and there's all this explosive. The car comes through, and then gets out. He's just walking up, fire behind him. It's raining. It's real good.
Love me some
fantastic.
Battinson.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad we watched it again. And then number 1, I also have something called The Play, but it's from the Station 11. This episode, my favorite part of Station 11 has nothing to do with the airplane stuff. But so Kristen is her name. She's like this little girl. She gets separated, like the world ends, the apocalypse happens, and she's just with this random dude. And They're in a giant apartment on Lakeshore, Chicago, and they're stuck there. It's winter. The world is over outside of there. She has this book. She was in plays. She's an actress. So she like wants to put on the whole season. You kind of see her like reading it. She's like, I'm going to put on a play, and you're built up to this whole time. And the day of the play is finally here. And she gets to perform it, and it's really fun. The two brothers that she with get to interact, and it's just so heartwarming. And then a stranger gets into their house, and there's lots of other layers to this with the brother, but he gets stabbed, and then the stranger also dies, and they have to. They already knew like they were out of shit. They were going to do this play and leave, and so they have to just. It happens during the play performance, and it's just so scary and tense. And then they have to leave and cross Lake Michigan in the frozen tundra of the apocalypse. And that's number one.
Yeah.
Some would argue that Chicago in the winter is the apocalypse. So.
Right.
It ain't great.
They'd be right. Wow. Yeah. You had
Great
mentioned
list.
early on that like, oh, you had a scene from
Yeah.
Station 11, and I didn't. Yeah, that was a good one.
I thought you'd have a different one, but that one's great.
I thought when you would say, oh, I know, I'm like, I don't know if he knows. I don't know.
I thought
good.
I thought the TLC creep. It's gonna be on your list because it was real good.
Yeah.
Really great.
My like sixth moment I had was from Galadriel. Like I don't know if you guys did you guys play the like Brock's funeral?
Yeah.
When they finally reveal the answer to the riddle that you like was just said in passing during the beginning of the game is just amazing.
Really good.
And it's just like a quick one-off thing, and then he just disappears. It was really good.
Seems like we should
Oh, Brock.
probably. I'm feeling a lot of Brock kind of love in this list. We should have a Brock moment of some kind. We kind of have like three
Yeah, I
different
think that's
Brock moments, but maybe
You'll
that's
narrow it down.
So I think so. We've got two bolded at this point. The one shot episode or the sequence in the bear, and then the boss scavenger cheese. I think that's close enough to the rooted ziggurat for me, and the fact that I also did that cheese and like I said I probably wouldn't have beaten that game, a game I really really enjoyed, if I didn't know how to do that. So thank you, Mike.
Is it that moment, or is it just like becoming an adult in such a portion in your life, realizing that time is a better commodity than everything else in your life, and just
It's
like,
a lot of that.
Fuck it,
That
yeah, fuck it.
that
I'm just
moment
gonna,
boils down to that. That's well said,
Yeah.
Talon. Yes, that I am.
because I can get behind that moment in general.
The moment
Yeah.
of life.
Learning how to hack life.
I am also happy if there's a any Tunic moment. That's cool.
I dig it.
I think we should pick a Batman moment.
Yeah, it seems like Batman was
We got
real.
three Batmans on there. Yeah.
I like Aaron's. I think like the intro is like a whole scene, a whole moment, like a vibe. Sets the tone. It sets the whole thing up.
Yeah.
I went into the movie like kind of ambivalent. I wasn't pumped. And then after that, it seemed like, okay, I'm ready for like the rest of this movie. So
Yeah.
it was
And
good. I think without that scene, I would have liked the movie a lot less.
That movie is so long, and then just to be rewarded with that beautiful flare scene towards the end was
It's to make sure you're still gets the flare, so you follow with your eyes.
if we're picking a Batman, the flare one for me.
Okay, interesting. And that was Ryan's. Yeah, that was Ryan's pick. Woody,
Eric and Tomas got to weigh in.
man, that introduction. I remember the first time seeing the Batman like in theaters and kind of not really digging like that end. it just didn't like his kind of change of heart or like revelation and stuff kind of didn't do it for me. The flare scene's beautiful regardless. And then watching it again last night, I felt better about the movie as a whole as well. Yeah. Aaron, what do you think of the flare scene? I mean, I love that introduction. I think it's great. I love that. I mentioned that chord that comes in pretty much every time he enters a frame. I really like it, and that's the first instance of it.
I like when a movie kicks the door off the hinges, like right out the gate.
Yeah.
I like them both. Obviously, I like the introduction better. That's why I listed it. But I mean, I like them both. I'm good with either one of them making it in, honestly.
I'll take
Well, we kind of all made our votes except for Tomas and Eric, right?
I'm
gonna go with Aaron because he's my buddy.
So I'm putting the flare scene. I'm bolding it for now and putting it in. We can go further on that. I think Mike just like he had like texted me like yesterday or something about the flare scene. And then Ryan just so happened at like 12:45 this morning sent me his list, and it was like, yeah, and it was like, oh, okay, like in such like short order, two people just like really loving that flare scene, and I think I like it. I think Aaron likes it. I think you like it as well, Kayla, right? And everyone, I think everyone kind of likes that scene.
All like it.
Some people love it. Fantastic. So that might be 3. I feel very strongly about the IllumiNOTi massacre in Doctor Strange. I like that scene.
I like it
quite a bit. I don't know, Mike, that was your nomination. Aaron, did you see Doctor Strange too?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. What did you think of the IllumiNOTi being introduced and then dispatched?
It's actually a big moment. I mean, it's I liked it a lot. It was good.
Okay.
Didn't not like it. That's good.
Yeah. Well,
right. Yeah, I didn't dislike it.
maybe put a pin in that one. The landslide scene in X. Anyone else dig that scene at all? No?
I
Is
don't
that just me?
know the movie well enough to know what you're talking about.
Ah, okay.
All I know is that these movies are named after Pokemon games. So
Yeah.
And Landslide's like a move too, right? It's just a Pokemon movie.
it's Rock Slide.
I just keep thinking of the comedian from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He just makes diarrhea jokes. The guy that they paid to go on stage with D.
I dig it. Okay, so landslide, no
For me, there were if any moments were going to be from Pearl or X, it would be Pearl's monologue or her mother's monologue, and Pearl were the standouts.
Dig it. Yeah, that's another long one shot there. The monologue.
Yeah.
Real good. So I mentioned. Okay, so the God of War of it all. Kayla almost was moved to tears in terms of the Brock. We've kind of established that Brock is somehow became like an outsized character in God of War Ragnarok, and
kind of the best part of the game.
An argument can be made. What is it called? The manner of a thing, or what's the quote again?
The nature of a thing is more important than the form of a thing.
And they hit that quote on the head a lot, and I don't know, the strength of that one scene carries over to all those other times too, and it worked for me.
Okay. Yeah. Aaron, what did you feel about the nature of a thing?
I love that. It was a really cool like echoing of a theme from when he first starts talking about dwarven magic, and it carries over from that to when he blesses the spear to when he dies. Like everything Sindri does after, you sort of see it over and over again, and it's great in that. And then obviously, that scene leads directly into the spear, which is like the best improvement God of War could have made in the new one, honestly, gameplay wise. So,
oh yeah,
it's really great. So
can we just put Brock? Just
we do have a character category coming up on a future episode, so
yeah, you might be on that too.
yeah, we'll see. Okay. So tentatively right now we have the one-shot episode in the bear. We have Tunic, the boss scavenger cheese, Batman, the flare scene, and the nature of a thing in God of War Ragnarok. It's a solid list so far. I think we can do some things here. Yeah, I think so. What else? Anything someone wants to kind of nominate?
I like the NOTY nomination, the IllumiNOTi.
The IllumiNOTi massacre in Doctor Strange 2.
What about the Rings of Power stuff?
Yeah, we do have a couple Rings of Power.
I watched a little bit of it. I don't think I made it to any of the moments mentioned, but it seems like a really great, well done show.
It's so pretty.
When it was brought up in Best Cat, I thought,
crazy.
that deserves to be brought up.
It's like one of the prettiest shows I've seen in a while. I like it.
Yeah.
Here's my tip: if you want to watch it, don't Google who any of the actors are. Any of them.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's really bad. Like, because some of the just don't do it.
Don't do it.
So then that reveal is really good. Then for Sauron or something like
It's becoming the way it's set up and everything.
The other
For Sauron. So the other scene, I don't know what it's talking about.
Elaborate, yeah.
Yeah, I know the scene he's talking about. So, Adar is captured. He's kind of like the Sauron Light. He's the main bad guy for like half of the show. Really
orcs.
Yeah, really creepy orc commander. And he's captured.
Okay.
He's captured. Yeah. He's in like a farmhouse, and
that's good.
And Galadriel is interrogating him, basically trying to figure out like, okay, Sauron must be back. Who is he? What's the deal? Why are you doing all of this? What's your deal? And Adar's just kind of like psychoanalyzing her because Galadriel throughout most of Rings of Power is just hellbent on revenge. She wants to wipe out the orcs, wipe out Sauron.
By herself, if she has to. She don't give a fuck.
She's definitely, like an Aloy adjacent character, let's say, where
her character is literally like, she is so driven on this singular goal that like you're just watching everything else that's close to her like just fall off the wayside. Like, and she says she wants to do it by herself, but man, she is really good at taking like hostages with her too. So
yeah. And
I mean, making people like a part of it.
And Adar basically calls her on her shit because he's like, "Hey, like, really, you're just a super racist. Honestly, like a lot of it is just like orcs are gross, right? Like they look gross, and everyone just like hates them because they look gross. But really,
they look so gross that the sun don't even like them, bro.
They're just another being on this planet, and they're being used oftentimes by like Sauron and by Adar and stuff like that. But really, he's more than Sauron, who is just like kind of an ultra villain who wants to use things for his own means. Like Adar seems to really care. He's like, the elves and men have like ruled this land for the longest time for kind of no reason. Like, why can't the orcs rule this land, and why should they be driven into holes and mercilessly slaughtered and everything else? And like that's Galadriel's whole campaign. Like she wants to wipe the floor with all of that, and he's basically telling her like, aren't you just Sauron? Like, okay, what's the difference between Sauron wanting to wipe out elves and men and you wanting to wipe out like orcs? Like what's the difference between us? Right.
Are you Tolkien history? But like at least there's the point of the orcs are just evil creations of elves. Like they're not like a different species that exists and is hated. They are elves that have been taken and twisted by evil into what they are.
Yeah. But I think Adar's like...
They are all evil.
Yeah. I do think like Adar is like saying like, oh, well, why can't we have our time now also? Like It seems like that's his platform. That his
And it's Return of the King. It's echoed by that one that's based on Harvey Weinstein. So.
Oh no!
Oh,
That's why he's so ugly. He's supposed to look like Harvey Weinstein. But yeah.
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah, I think it's a powerful conversation and stuff. Rings of Power for me, just as a show, is the grand sum of everything for me. Like, a lot of moments didn't stick with me, or a lot of like individual scenes didn't stick with me, or even individual characters, but it's the sum of all these parts really works very well. It's beautiful, it's epic, the scale,
the beauty is what sticks with me. Like, I literally feel like, I don't know how they do it, but it's like you just like dive into this like
Called the
whimsical,
contrast.
magical world that you're looking at. It's such a like dream like state, I feel, watching it.
I feel like a lot of shows have gotten so muted and like dark, like in tone, that they feel like the ambiance of like whatever setting they're in has to be that. And it was just refreshing to see such a colorful and bright show. Like
Even when they're
even in the fucking
caves.
like the caves. Yes. I
The
agree,
lighting.
100%.
Oh, it's good.
So it's refreshing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So let's put a pin in that conversation. That's probably, if we're gonna do a moment from Rings of Power, that I think that fits really well. I think that's a good choice by Ryan for a moment in Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I thought the menu had a lot of great moments.
Ooh.
Yeah, that student loans. I didn't remember that exact scene, but that's hilarious.
That one's really good because you figure out most of the people really fast, and she's like the last one. It just comes down to something so petty.
Right. I just love how he is with all of it, and like, I don't know. The movie was just great. I loved it so much.
I love anytime Elsa talks. when she's showing like the barracks, and she's like, we saute, we fry, we
We gel.
we gel. You're like, what? And she's like, we gel, and she just screams it out.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, that's in the trailer.
describing
Yep, sure is.
the tortillas and stuff like that. What are these? These are tortillas.
That is really good. Gosh. Okay. Every Inch Counts was a good pull, Kayla.
Everybody loves that.
That's really,
That's a
really
really good one.
good. I forgot. That should have been on my list, I think.
My long list has a lot of funnies. Just moments that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really only have one funny currently. The boss scavenger cheese.
That's pretty good though.
That is pretty good.
There's a lesson to be learned in there.
The break room.
Sometimes
in
it's the simple thing.
In Severance, like I said, I love a play on words. I think it's there's a lot of foreboding. Like they mentioned the break room multiple times in this, like kind of like, ooh, what is that? Kind of that's
Hushed tones.
Yeah, hushed tones, and you're like, well, it's just a break room, right? You're in an office setting, and then when you realize it's break as in break a person, like it hits. It really hits.
Break stuff.
Yeah.
Limp Biscuit.
Significant other. Yes, yeah, we had that. Man, yeah. Ratatouille, my number one, should be on here. You're right. Let's put that up. Let's move that up there. I think that scene is fantastic, and I think that's such a cool ass movie. A movie of scenes, a movie of like just big, huge, crazy set pieces and stuff.
Oh, the whole movie.
It feels like something should be like in a list of best moments, but maybe.
The introduction of the Scarlet Witch-esque character in that movie is very good. The hallway fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the Euphoria moment I thought you did a really great job, Eric.
Yeah, you broke it down pretty good.
Oh man, what?
Of
I
describing.
mean, hey, I'm not gonna say no, but it's fantastic. I mean, it is really worth.
Let's give everybody a pat on the back.
Worth
Everybody's
seeing.
happy.
I'll bring it up again. Do we don't like the IllumiNOTi Doctor Strange?
I love it. I
On the
think it's
list?
fantastic.
I like it a lot. I'm just trying to spread the,
I don't remember who said what, but it's
Oh, okay.
Just stuff
I
that's
do.
like so long ago in the year for me, like just doesn't register as heavy as the more current stuff. So
Yeah.
I just remember like that felt so shocking to have.
It's violent.
I have mixed emotions about the MCU, like as well because of comics and stuff. Like I'm
Okay.
still like in a point in my life with the MCU this past year where it's like I'm waiting to be impressed. There's a lot there on the table, so like I'm still on shaky ground with them.
I feel you.
Every inch counts.
Every Inch Counts is hilarious. I enjoy that one quite a bit. But I loved the IllumiNOTi massacre. I do want to speak highly of that. If it made the list, I'd feel good about Every Inch Counts, IllumiNOTi massacre. Honestly, Ryan's scene is pretty good. I wouldn't feel bad about any of those. I had the dirt bike chase scene from Barry on my long list. It was maybe number 6 or 7 on my long list. I thought that was a hilarious scene.
It's fantastic.
Do we feel comfortable at the 4? I guess to
think
make
we're good.
sure.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
shot of the bear, the Tunic boss scavenger cheese, flare scene from Batman.
That's got to be my favorite. Tunic boss cheese.
It's good.
Just says so many things for me on so many different levels.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
If I had to vote between those few, I would probably give it to Barbarian.
Okay.
Ooh, we haven't even talked about it.
Did you say you would as well, Aaron?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Wasn't
And that
that
was
yours,
your
Aaron?
nomination, right, Kayla? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna bold that and see how that looks for our 5. The one shot from the bear, the boss scavenger cheese in Tunic, the flare scene in the Batman, the nature of a thing in God of War Ragnarok, and Every Inch Counts in Barbarian. That feels like a good 5. Do we have any last minute yays, nays? Nothing. Okay.
Nah, I think
I
we
like
got
it.
This is the definitive list.
It is.
Everybody else is wrong. We're
Do we
right.
want to change our where everything is now in the 5?
Mm.
No, I think it makes sense that like they were kind of like the ones we put on there first were positive about, and
Yeah.
The boss
I think-
scavenger cheese feels like maybe the lowest.
Hell no. Put
I
that shit at the top.
Okay.
Time, time is money, Eric.
I mean I understand that too
I
though.
was literally on GameFAQs yesterday for like been grinding through Crisis Core on my free time.
I guess I like that idea though, putting the Tunic one at the bottom.
Yeah, because it's more of like an action that we did. I don't know. It's not like it's not. I don't know.
We're sharing it with the world, baby.
We are.
Cheat
The
to win.
way-
Let's go.
Really, the moment was like what Tomas, how he's feeling about it. Just the moment of realizing pride is a motherfucker, but fuck pride. Like
Fuck.
I need to just get through this shit. I need to move on.
Marcellus Wallace quote. Fuck pride.
I'm gonna put learning to let go. Tunic.
There we go.
Okay.
I got a lot of shit to do, bro. Like,
I dig it. So I moved Tunic down. to the 5 slot. We don't have to keep it there, but that would put one shot, then flare scene, nature of a thing, every inch counts, learning to let go would be the new order. Good band, new order.
For me, it's the one shot or nature of a thing.
Yeah, I would say
I
bump
think
nature of
because
the thing at
I
least.
think
Though.
all of you had one shot as on your list. I think I'm the only person who did not. I think it belongs
I didn't
at
have
number
it on
1.
mine, but it's awesome. It's so good.
I didn't have it on my
great.
list, but it's a great scene.
It's the only one that matched, I believe. So
Yeah, I think it was
All
in
right,
there.
well, that's what happened.
yeah.
So
That makes sense.
Alright. That looks good.
One shot, nature of a thing, the flare scene, every inch counts, and learning to let go.
Nice.
Let's
I
wrap
think
up.
That's those
That's
good
the
group of
list.
moments.
Oh,
yeah.
hey, we did it. We did it. First day of the NOTYs 2022 is over. Just to recap, for best ensemble, we went with God of War Ragnarok, The Bear, Our Flags Mean Death, Severance, and Reservation Dogs. For best moment, we went with the one-shot episode in The Bear, the nature of a thing in God of War Ragnarok, the flare scene in The Batman, every inch counts in Barbarian, and learning to let go in Tunic for best moment. Life. What an episode, guys. That was that was a lot. Thank you for joining only part 1 of the NOTYs. We got 2 more parts. Our next one will be best characters and biggest disappointments. Maybe not in that order. I think
order.
maybe we'll start with disappointments and not end on disappointments.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one.
That'll be better.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's episode 110. It's in the books, right? We're good. We feel good.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
That's it. So catch us on the next one. NOTYs 2022. Keep on rolling. We're getting out of here.
Rolling.
And we're saying,
Oh no.
rolling. Goodbye.
Yeah. I don't want to say it.
Chocolate starfish.
That's the one. I didn't want to say it.
Oh, good stuff. All right.
I love how love how much we managed to fit Limp Bizkit in this episode.
Yeah, it was
So
really
much.
right. It was the right way to do it.